Welcome to session number 5. In this session, our discussion is going to be on accounts and records under GST as well as filing of returns. Okay. So, basically, overall weightage of these two topics together could be up to 5 marks, not more than that. So, to the extent possible, let's try to revise in next 1 hour, 15 minutes, whatever. So, actually, what all are accounts and records to be maintained by the registered person, and why to maintain? So why to maintain? The logic is very simple. Why to maintain? Because finally self assessment is being done, and if there is any question being asked to the registered person about his determination of liability, about his claiming of ITC, then it is the onus of proving is on the assessee. That's why accounts and records should be maintained. Okay, check what section 35 talks about. It says every registered person shall keep and maintain at his principal place of business. Principal place of business, there is a principal place of business and additional place of business in GST. So where these accounts and records should be maintained? At the principal place of business. Okay, accounts and records should be maintained with respect to what? With this 1 2 3 4 5 6 things. What 6 things? Production or manufacture of goods, inward and outward supply of goods or services or both, so that you can calculate output tax and ITC. Stock of goods, so that there is a assurity that you have claimed correct ITC. ITC availed, output tax payable and paid, and such other particulars as may be prescribed. So very logical. You need not read it again also. It's very logical of what all you should maintain the records. Provided that where more than one place of business is specified in certificate of registration, the accounts relating to each place of business shall be kept at such place of businesses. So there is a APOB, additional place of business. So even for this, accounts and records should be maintained. So can you also maintain accounts and records in electronic form? Yes, that's given in the last proviso. So provided further that registered person may keep and maintain such accounts and other particulars in electronic form in such manner as may be prescribed. Is it clear to all of you? Yes, very good. Every owner or operator of warehouse or godown or any other place used for storage of goods, and every transporter, irrespective of whether is registered person or not, shall maintain records of the consignor, consignee and other relevant details. Transporter and warehouse keeper basically logistic agencies we are talking about, they should compulsorily maintain records with respect to the goods which they are storing of their clients. Suppose I am a logistic company, okay, then I should maintain record of my client's goods. Got the point? Yes. Then what else can become important? Now time limit becomes important, by the way. Is it clear what all record is to be maintained and who is supposed to keep these records? You can go through these rules if you want. The basic will become important. check this. Period of retention of records means for what time you will retain this record. Do you understand difference between maintaining and retention? You have maintained your notebook, okay? For the GST batch and tax batch, you have maintained the notebook, but you will feel, na, even after passing CS exam, you will not feel like throwing the book. I have seen many students with so much hard work, you have maintained that notebook, so you don't throw it immediately, that's for sure. But 4 years, 5 years, after 4 to 5 years, when you are cleaning the house for Diwali, then you know you will like that memory of the book. But finally you will have to somehow, you know, आपण इकडे म्हणतो, वी कॉल इन मराठी की दगड हृदयावर दगड ठेवून, means by making ourselves strong, not being caught in emotions, we'll have to throw that book finally. In short, you retained that book for 5 years. More emotional people will retain for 8, 10 years. More emotional people will never throw. Okay, so that's how we retain the things. Retaining means keeping. So for how many years the records under GST should be kept? You cannot carry those records lifelong, no? So yesterday you had seen time limit within which the demand can be made. That was 3 years, and where fraud is involved, 5 years. Now of course book should be maintained beyond that. You understood logic? Book should be maintained beyond that, because if there is any show cause notice, then you are going to obviously prove your point by showing this record only, na? So it is surpassing 5 years. If you check, you are saying 72 months. If you check 72 months divided by 12, it is 6 years. You got the logic? Check. So every registered person required to keep and maintain books of accounts or other records in accordance with provisions of section 35(1) shall retain them. Shall means compulsory, until expiry of 72 months from due date of furnishing of annual return for the year pertaining to such accounts and records. So basically, after 72 months from the due date of furnishing annual return for the financial year to which that record relates, officer cannot ask you. If you say that I have destroyed the records, he cannot make it compulsion on you to show the records. Okay, because you will show him section 36, which talks about maximum of 72 months. So if I am talking about FY 18-19, then 31st December 2019 is due date of filing annual return. So after that you count 6 years. So 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Till 31st December 25, you have to keep the records of financial year 18-19. On 1st January 26, you can make a holy of that. You can burn it. Literally you can burn it. Okay, got the point? तो आपने जो झोल किए हैं वो सब उसके साथ चले जाएंगे. Okay, let's see. But of course, if there is a case going on you, then you cannot throw the records when the case is going on. Okay, so however, a registered person who is party to an appeal or revision or any other proceedings before any appellate authority or revisional authority or appellate tribunal or court, whether filed by him or by commissioner, or is under investigation for an offence under chapter 19, shall retain the books of accounts and other records pertaining to subject matter of such appeal or revision or proceedings or investigation for a period of 1 year after final disposal of such appeal. So obviously, or for a period specified above. Above means that 72 months. Of course, whichever is later. Okay, so obviously while appeal is going on, you cannot dispose. Okay, further, when you cannot dispose after 1 year, so you have to keep it at least for more 1 year after the appeals decision has been given, or 72 months, whichever is later. Agreed? So please understand these points. They were very critical with respect to accounts and records. So in accounts and records, what point important I see is retention of records its time, which is given in section 36, and who should maintain records and what records should be maintained. Okay, that will in my opinion become relatively important from this topic. So shall I go to next subpart of this session, which I have promised to take as filing of returns under GST. In this filing of returns topic, you can see what will become important is the table which I have given in the main batch. Do you remember the table given in the main batch, which has columns? What columns that table has? So I would request any one of you to afterwards take a photo of that table and post on our WhatsApp group for new students. There could be some students who have not done the main batch. For their convenience, you can post the photo of that table in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so basically the name of these forms are GSTR. That R stands for return. So GSTR, the sequence is 1, 2, 2A, 3B, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The forms go like this. Now what is return? I did not tell you. Return basically is a document. Many students feel that return means I am going to get a refund. There is no connection of refund and return. Okay, you all are company secretary students. At least you should not think in this way. You have so many returns to be filed to your, yes, ROC also, which are the returns in relation to company accounts, right? What all those form numbers are there, those due date is, one of the due date is today, you know that. Yes, so AOC all 4 and all, I don't know much about it. Okay, I keep on listening it from my wife. She is a practicing company secretary, so I have seen her worries from past few days coordinating with clients for that form and all. Okay, anyway, so I don't give much attention there. Okay, so point is that is also return, right? So return literally means giving information. So here you are giving information about GST, details of GST. So GSTR1. So GSTR1 is not a return actually, it's a statement. Statement which will declare outward supply. Correct? A statement which will declare outward supply is GSTR1. Okay, so see, we have made this chart in the batch, so I will just like to go to that and check this. See this. So literally, in my opinion, you should learn this GSTRs properly. So GSTR1 is a statement of outward supply. Outward supply literally means your sales, or if you're service provider, then your services. Outward supply. Okay, services given. Now it is a monthly statement for those who have not opted for QRMP. What is QRMP? QRMP is a scheme, quarterly return monthly payment. Okay, so one more thing that could be asked from this topic is QRMP. Okay, Now tell me who may opt for that QRMP? Who may opt for that QRMP? Such person, a small, but who is that small taxpayer? We cannot just say small taxpayer. No, no, no. Anisha, not composite taxpayer. Is it 50 crores really? Or 5 crores? Aggregate turnover should not have exceeded rupees 5 crores. Okay, they may opt for this QRMP, quarterly return monthly payment. So how they will file the return? On quarterly basis. How they will pay the tax? On monthly basis. Okay, so at this juncture I would like to tell you QRMP will become important from exam perspective. Prepare a short note on that QRMP. Okay, so assume as of now you have not opted for QRMP. So you will file GSTR1 on monthly basis. By 10th day of the next month, you know what is 10th day of the next month? Means if I am talking about say January sales, then I will file GSTR1 by 10th of February. Is it clear to all of you? And so on it will go on. Okay. Of course, a person who has opted for composition scheme should not file GSTR1. Murasa, is it clear? A person who has opted in composition scheme, he files on annual basis. Someone would be tempted to say quarterly basis. No, he files on annual basis in GSTR 4. Very good. In GSTR 4 by 30th April, after the end of financial year. Agreed? Yes. So of course we are going to revise in the 23rd batch starting 23rd November about composition levy. But I am just talking about when they file the return. Check. GSTR 4, return for a financial year. Who files that? A person who has opted for section 10. When does he file it? What's the due date? By 30th April of the next financial year. So for 22-23, he will file by 30 April 23. Is it clear? But friends, those who have opted for composition scheme, will they pay tax only once in a year? No, they will pay tax on quarterly basis. Very good. So when they pay tax on quarterly basis, details of this taxes paid will be given to government. Yes, very good, Swati. In GST CMP 08. Can you see GST CMP 08? So GST CMP 08 will be furnished by 18th of the next month following the quarter. And already I told you that quarters definition is given in section 2 subsection 92. Quarter means 3 consecutive months in a calendar year ending 31st March, 30 June, 30th September and 31st December. So the quarter doesn't start from the day you start the business. Means suppose you started business on say 1st July and you opted for composition scheme. Then you will have to file GST CMP 08 on 18th of August for quarter ended April, May, June. Sorry, you started business 1st June, not 1st July. You started business on 1st June and opted for composition scheme. Then for April, May, June quarter, you will have to file by July 18th. Did you get what I am trying to tell you? I am trying to tell you that quarter goes according to their definition, not from your date of starting business. Okay, very good. Now why did I tell you everything about composition scheme first? Because GSTR 1 and 3B, which we are discussing, will keep out those who have opted for composition scheme. Agreed? Because for composition scheme there is GSTR 4 and 08, CMP 08. Agreed? Did you understand, all of you? Yes. So we are discussing about GSTR 1 for any taxpayer or any registered person other than the one who has opted for composition scheme. Okay? Fine. Now, for that person who has opted for QRMP, he will file GSTR 1 on quarterly basis. Friends, apply simple logic. What was the logic of applying and opting for QRMP? Logic was, I wanted less compliance. I wanted obviously less compliance. So if government continues to say that file GSTR 1 on monthly basis only, then there is no use of QRMP. That's why GSTR 1 for those who have opted for QRMP will also be on quarterly basis. Agreed? And check, for them it is 13th day of the month succeeding the quarter. So 3 months का देना है ना. So date given is 13th and not 10th. In GSTR 1, other than QRMP, it was 10th of the month. Now here it is 13th of the month following the quarter. Is it clear to all of you? Then GSTR 3B. 3B is actually a return. Now actually GSTR 1 is a statement of outward supply. If you see also here heading, we are talking about statement for outward supply, statement for outward supply. Actually the return is GSTR 3B, because 3B will give details of outward supply as well as inward supply. Agreed? Now outward supply as well as inward supply detail means output tax as well as input tax details. So finally you will also get net GST payable. So that will again be on monthly basis for those who have not opted for QRMP. For those opting QRMP, it will be of course on quarterly basis. Is it clear? It will be filed by 20th of the month, 20th of the month following the month. And those who have opted for QRMP, 20 will get extended to 22 of the month following the quarter. Is it agreed? Yes. GSTR 4 we already discussed. GST CMP 08 we already discussed. I would also like to tell you about GSTR 2A, 2 capital A, which is auto populated, which is for ITC. What it is for? It is for ITC. How it gets auto populated, auto filled? The opposite party, that is your supplier has filed his GSTR 1. On that basis it is reflected in your 2A. Agreed? So you have to accept, tick mark and take that ITC. One more thing I want to tell you. When we talk about GSTR 1, okay, understand it very properly. If there are B2B supplies, what's the meaning of B2B supplies? Business to business. I am doing a supply to a registered person. Then he wants to claim ITC, na? So it is mandatory to give invoice wise details. Means even if the bill is of 10 rupees and there is GST of 1.8, you should put it separately. Did you understand my point? Because opposite party wants to claim ITC. For him, it will become input tax only if you declare your output tax, putting his GST number. So B2B, for every B2B transaction, there should be a separate disclosure in GSTR 1. When I talk about B2C, what is B2C? Business to end consumer. End consumer means unregistered person. Then there need not be a separate disclosure. It can be consolidated in the return. Okay, is it clear? But if it's interstate B2C, and if in a particular state, do you know the value? If in a particular state the value of all B2C supplies exceeds rupees dash, then it is mandatory to make invoice wise declaration. 2.5 lakhs in a year. Yes, very good, Swati. Clear? So remember these points already discussed in the main batch. Okay. Then friends comes GSTR 5. Okay, do you know this special provisions for CTP and NRTP? CTP, casual taxable person, and NRTP, non-resident taxable person. Where are these provisions given? These are given in section 27 of CGST Act. Do you remember section 27 of CGST Act? Special provisions for CTP and NRTP. Yes. Understand, CTP means what? Apart from full form. Listen, I am from Maharashtra. I want to participate in exhibition in Karnataka. This exhibition is hardly for 20 days. But in that exhibition, I am going to make sale to people in Karnataka. Did you understand? Did you understand, all of you? Ulka, did you understand? I am registered in Maharashtra, but I have to make a supply in an exhibition to multiple people in Karnataka. The exhibition is only for 20 days. So now I am going to obtain registration in Karnataka. That registration in Karnataka is going to be for time being. So I don't have place of business in Karnataka. For time being, I am going to take registration in Karnataka. This is called as being registered in Karnataka as CTP, casual taxable person. Agreed? What I want to tell you is, for maximum, how many days I can be registered as CTP? Maximum for 90 days I can be registered as CTP. And there can be extension granted for further period of 90 days. You know all that provisions. What I want to tell you is, for CTP, there is no difference in filing of returns. He has to file GSTR 1, he has to file GSTR 3B. No difference. Now, who is NRTP? Non-resident taxable person. Continue with same example. In that exhibition in Karnataka, one person from France wants to put his stall. Now that person from France doing business in India for time being will be called as NRTP. Did you understand? This NRTP, that is, it is occasionally carrying out business in a state where he does not have fixed place of business. Okay. Other provisions of CTP means and NRTP are same. Means 90 days plus extension of 90 days and all. Important point is, for NRTP, there is a different return. He cannot go for GSTR 1 and 3B. He has to go under GSTR 5. Check. He has to file monthly return. Okay. Now see the critical aspect. When he will file? 20th day of next month. But do you agree that suppose he took registration on 1st July, suppose 2022, and that registration is for 7 days exhibition. So this exhibition will end on, say, 7 July. So his registration is for period between 1st to 7th July. Now he will file when? 20th day of next month, that is 20th of August, or within 7 days after expiry of registration. His registration itself expired on 7th July, whichever is earlier. In short, he will file on 14th July. Did you understand? I have given you example here also. Did you understand this special provision of GSTR 5? All of you, please let me know. Yes, very good. GSTR 5 may become important, a return for NRTP. Okay. Then 5A. Do you know those persons who are providing OIDAR services? I gave you many examples in the main batch, like Zoom Inc. Right? We are accessing services of Zoom. Each month I am getting a bill of 1500 rupees, some $17. So don't you think that a person in US is giving online information database access retrieval service to me? Yes, so they are supposed to file return in India in GSTR 5A. In registration topic, we have seen that for them registration in India is compulsory, and now they will file a return in GSTR 5A on monthly basis. Agreed? I have given you example also here. Check. Wherever possible, I have made your life easy. Okay. GSTR 6 is ISD. Do you remember example of ISD given in the main batch? LG. LG's head office. What is ISD? Who are my new student friends? Shweta. But Shweta is not attending. Not attending means she will look into this. What? The recordings. Okay. Huh. So what I'm asking you is, Murasa, did you understand? Do you understand ISD? Input Service Distributor. So what happened is, LG head office availed some services, suppose, but that LG head office has availed those service of advertising, suppose, but not for itself, for its factories. So LG head office avails the service and then it distributes the tax on that. Now point is that LG head office has taken registration in GST and they have availed service of 10 crore rupees. GST on that is 1.8 crore. That GST they have distributed to the beneficiaries, branches. Yes, very good. Question is, they have to declare this to government. That is in GSTR 6. Check. In monthly basis, they will file return by 13th day of next month. So for October, they will file by 13th of November. Agreed? Then next, TDS, those who are deducting tax at source in certain transactions under GST, when they will file the return on monthly basis by 10th day of the next month. Then those who are collecting tax at source, examples of this, Amazon, right? Amazon. Why Amazon? Because Ketki, Ulka, Atmaja, Swati, all are registered with Amazon selling their products. Suppose I purchase a product made by Swati and I pay to, who do I pay first? Yes, I first pay to Amazon. So I paid to Amazon 1000 rupees plus 180 GST. Government has asked that Amazon to keep out of that 180 rupees 10 rupees with itself and pass 170 to Swati. This is called as tax collected at source. So now this 10 rupees Amazon will pay to government. Of that details Amazon should give to the government in GSTR 8. Within how many days? 10 days of the next month. Agreed? Then friend comes annual return. Who should file annual return? Every person should file annual return. Okay, except yes, ISD, CTP, NRTP. Correct? Or the ones who are just deductors of tax at source or collectors of tax at source. Except them, everyone should file. By what date? By, due date of filing annual return under GST. We have discussed it 1000 times. 31st December after the end of the financial year. Okay. Then comes annual statement and reconciliation statement. Okay, you can go through that. Not that important. But annual return was very important. GSTR 9. Final return. Okay. Check. So GSTR 9B's annual statement was for ECO, by the way, and 9C was a reconciliation statement. Then 10 is final return. Final return means if you are cancelling your registration certificate or surrendering it. Okay, we are talking about that. So it should be filed within 3 months from date of cancellation or date of order of cancellation, whichever is earlier. And finally, details of inward supply, very exceptional. You must be knowing UIN, unique identification number. Who have obtained that UIN? Basically, some organizations of UNO or some multilateral financial institutions like World Bank. So in short, those people who are operating in India for not profit basis. We cannot generalize it. There are notified people who can get this UIN instead of GSTIN. So basically, the purpose of this UIN is whatever tax they are paying on their purchase in India, tax which they are paying on their purchase in India, that tax they are refunded by government. Means what happened? Ulka is a company secretary. She charged to World Health Organization operating in India 1 lakh rupees plus GST of 18,000. So WHO paid 1,18,000 to Ulka. But WHO is entitled for refund of that 18,000 rupees. Correct? Ulka paid 18,000 to government. Government will give 18,000 back to WHO. For claiming that refund, that WHO should file GSTR 11. Agreed? So this way, please remember 1 to 11. But most important ones you can highlight, that will be 1, 3B, 4. 1, 3B, 4, 5. This will be most important ones. And 9 also. Very good. GST CMP 08. What else? I told you to make a short note on QRMP. And GST return preparer. Okay. Please do that as well. This practitioners, return preparer means practitioners, GST practitioners, section 48 basically. So please also do 47, levy of late fees. Okay. What all will you do? 47, 48, and other things we have done right now in the form of that chart. Is it clear to all of you? Friends, as usual, we will take question answers. Means I will ask you technical questions. You try to answer them. Agreed? How many of you are watching? 15 of you. Good. क्या होता है? Those who are watching recordings. If you are watching recordings by choice, then I would request you to watch as much as possible live. Okay. Why I'm saying this to you right now? Because these recordings will go to those people. So this is not for those who are watching live. This is especially for those who are watching the recordings. It's always better to complete the things along with me itself. That recording is a facility given. Okay. Why so? Because it will get over in this, what you can say, tempo. Okay. Maybe sometimes many things will be repetition for you, but in this tempo, if it gets over, you will not be lazy to watch it. Otherwise what happens? It's like many books we pile up but we never open, right? Even I have many books. Don't go with this wallpaper. This is a wallpaper, obviously. I'm talking about, there's a bookshelf here. There are many books which I've just purchased and kept. So your lecture should not be such. You have purchased and kept. So that's why watch it live. It's a human tendency to procrastinate the things. Okay. Questions. Special audit is under which section? Special audit is under section 66. Within how many days it should be completed by chartered accountant or cost accountant? 90 days. Can extension be given for the same? How much extension can be given? A further extension of 90 days. Wonderful, wonderful. Of course, it's 90 days from date of commencement. Okay. Then, friends, time limit for issuing assessment order with to non-filers of GST return. So time limit for issuing order to non-filers of GST return. So basically non-filers of GST return is discussed in section 62, and for unregistered person is discussed in section 63. Time limit is 5 years from due date of, very good, from due date of filing of annual return for the year in which tax is not paid. Wonderful, wonderful. That was a critical point. When can summary assessment be ordered? Summary assessment can be ordered or can be done by proper officer when he has a reason to believe that less tax is paid, and not issuing order will be loss to the revenue. Correct? It will adversely affect the interest of the revenue. Very good. So now what we are trying to do is, usually you would have written all these answers vague. We are trying to make it very obvious for you by repeating these things over this batch. Got it? And now when you sit for your studies, your work will be so easy. 73, 74. What is common in 73, 74? Both talk about issuing dash. Both talk about issuing a show cause notice. Okay. For following 5 things, show cause notice can be issued. 5 things are non-payment, short payment, erroneous refund, ITC incorrectly availed, ITC incorrectly utilized. If fraud is not involved, then we refer to which section? Then we refer to 73. If fraud is involved, we go to 74. If, friends, fraud is not involved, then what is the penalty? Then penalty is to the extent of 10% of GST not paid, or rupees 10,000, whichever is dash. All are giving the answer, but whichever is higher. Wonderful, wonderful. But this penalty also could be waived off if you are paying within dash days of issue of show cause notice, within 30 days of issue of show cause notice, or you are paying before issue of show cause notice only. But come what may, this penalty cannot be waived off if it's a self-assessed tax which you are paying after 30 days from the due date of payment of such tax. Okay. If I talk about penalty of 74, then what it is? Penalty of 74 is equivalent to tax payable, means 100%. In what circumstances that 100% will go down to 50%? In what circumstances that 100% will go down to 50%? If you are paying within 30 days from date of issue of, आप clean bold हो गए, order, not show cause notice, assessment order. Yes. When it will go down to 25%, I can change sequence of asking my questions, right? 25% when I am paying within 30 days of issue of show cause notice. When it will go down to 15% when I am paying it before issue of show cause notice voluntarily. Wonderful, wonderful, well done. Time limit under 74 is higher than time limit under 73. What's the time limit under 74? For issue of the show cause notice where fraud is involved. 5 years from due date of filing of annual return for the financial year to which tax not paid, short paid relates. Simple. These wordings you'll remember in exam as it is. I am sure. I am conditioning your mind for that. Then people tell me when they pass, they really come to meet me home from whichever town, city they are. They really come to meet me home these days because we are operating from a remote location. And when they come home, they really tell me that we could recollect your wordings as it is in the exam. That's one of the reasons that we are speaking 100% in English, because you have to write paper in English. Okay. So yes, that was the time limit which you have told me just now was time limit for issue of order. Now show cause notice has to be issued at least 6 months prior to this date. So effectively it will become 4 years 6 months from due date of filing of annual return for the financial year to which the tax not paid, short paid, etc., etc., etc. relates to. And when I talk about section 73's time limit, 5 years will get replaced by 3 years and 6 months will get replaced by 3 months. Well done. Good answers. Good answers. So you visualize one day you clearing, one day means immediately 25th Feb, and calling me and taking my appointment to meet me. You visualize that. Okay, and you do. I really feel nice when we don't even need physical classes, but still student find my address and come home to meet me. It's the best feeling. And better feeling is my parents are always sitting there and seeing this success, right? So yes, I want you to be part of that. Make sure that you are part of that on coming 25th Feb. Okay, then friends, yes, you will be. Advance rulings applicant means who? Advance rulings applicant means any person who is registered under GST or is desirous of obtaining registration under GST, then uh, there are how many questions on which this ruling can be sought? So there are 7 questions on which this ruling can be sought. Okay, the one important critical issue which is not kept here is place of supply. Why it is not kept, that logic also I can tell you. AAR and AAAR is constituted under SGST Act. So now if they give decisions of place of supply, it can become biased decision, so they cannot give. Okay, place of supply decisions they cannot give. Now for how many months, so what's the time limit for retaining the records accounts? The time limit for retaining the records and accounts is 72 months from due date of filing annual return for the financial year to which the accounts or records relate to. And if any appeal is going on, then it becomes minimum you should maintain records for 1 year after this appeals decision, or above period of 72 months, whichever is later, higher nahi later. Okay. Good. Then when will that advance ruling, I am mixing from all topics, when will that advance ruling become void ab initio? It will become void ab initio if it was obtained by way of fraud, yes, or any misstatement. Good. Very good. I feel so satisfied that you are answering so well. Okay. In case of goods where the goods are sent on approval basis, then what is the date of making invoice? Then the date of making invoice is the date when supply is completed, that is the approval is given by recipient of supply, or 6 months from the date of sending the goods, whichever is earlier. In case of services, we call continuous supply of services when the services are provided continuously on a recurrent basis for more than 3 months. No, for more than 3 months, not 3 months or more, it's for more than 3 months. Okay. If, now what I should ask you, if I am unregistered, still can I make application for advance ruling? Yes. If in provisional assessment I am going to get a refund, then that on that refund I will get interest at -%, 6% per annum, and I will get that interest only if government is making a delay beyond 60 days from the date of making application. And one more last thing I want to ask you is, if I am paying interest in case of provisional assessment, then I will have to pay at 18% per annum from the date that payment become due till the date of actual payment. Simple. I have shown you one sum also on that. So I hope all the things are getting pretty clear for you. Tomorrow we are not going to have any class as discussed in the schedule. We are going exactly as per schedule. So see, the batch started on 27th, 27, 28, 29. In 3 days, we were expected to cover only 3 sessions, but we have covered 5 sessions. So we can afford to take off tomorrow. But these Sundays are very important for you. Okay, you will consistently keep studying. Did I tell you power of consistency in this batch? So if not, yes, no, you just tell me. I keep on sharing so many things to so many batches, so I don't know Power of consistency is very critical. I will end today's session on that high note. 1 rupee saved on day 1. This is what I am doing. 2 rupees saved on day 2. I started this exercise from 1st June. And today is my day number 152. And this exercise I am going to continue till day 365. So first day 1 rupee, next day 2 rupees, next day 3 rupees, next day 4 rupees. This I started doing from 1st June. This I'll do till 31st May. I started on 1st June 22. I'll do till 31st May 23. How much will be amount with me on 31st May 2023? You understood? What is my resolution? 1 rupee on 1st June, 2 rupees saved on 2nd June, 3 rupees saved on 3rd June. So after 3rd June I had balance of 6 rupees. On 4th June I had balance of what? 10 rupees. On 5th June I had balance of 15 rupees. So on 31st May 23, what will be my balance? Difficult, no? So we wanted to avoid maths. That's why we have done CS. And then you're asking us a maths question only. This is not compounding actually. I'm asking you a straightforward question. I'm not even calculating interest on that. I'm just trying to tell you how much is the power of consistency. Now you can solve that equation later on. But the figure I will tell you, can you estimate the figure? You will take 3 hours to calculate on your calci or an Excel sheet. I don't want that. I want you to estimate the figure. Just one random guess. Around 15k Sushma is saying. Okay. Then anyone else wants to estimate? Anyone else wants to estimate that what my savings would be on 31st May? Estimate. Take estimate. What is this figure? How? 13 lakh? 33,325. I'll then save with you. You give me that much. Anisha Bank. Okay. So friends, the figure comes to 66,000 rupees plus something. So point is, it looks like silly, 1 rupee today, 2 rupees tomorrow, 3 rupees day after tomorrow, but the figure finally comes to 66,000 plus something. Getting the point? So what I'm trying to tell you is that it might look silly that daily you are working for 5 hours, 6 hours, or someday when you're not able to sit for long hours, still for 2 to 3 hours, but if you compile that at the end, its result will be substantial. If you want to become an author and if you write just 1 page daily, at the end of the year you will have a book of 365 pages. Whether it will be meaningful or meaningless, that's different, but you will have that content. Getting the point? So never underestimate power of consistency. Okay. Yes, so work on Sunday as well. These Sundays are important because number of days for your exam you calculate, and accordingly you don't take pressure, but you keep consistency. Do you know what is opposite of stress? Taking action. If you take action, stress will be gone. As simple as that. When you are in stress, take action. When you feel tensed about studies, take action. Okay? If you think more about stress, it will multiply. Just take action. Okay, chalo friends, so That's it. Don't think about studies, do study. That's important. So on this high note, I will end the session. Okay, this was a desert for you. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. I'll see you on Monday. Bye bye.